Hi and greetings. Welcome to the discussion of Descartes, Rene Descartes. Rene Descartes was known as the father of modern philosophy. He is known basically for kind of his idea of systematic doubt, which we'll talk about in the next video. But he also is known for ushering in sort of the scientific revolution and that kind of approach to doing things in a scientific manner. As far as he goes, he was Rene Descartes was French. He was born he was a philosopher and a mathematician. He actually came up with what's called he came up with a theoretical geometry. So he was well known for that. But essentially, to give you a little bit about Descartes, he was born in 1596, and his mother died during childbirth. I don't know if that is a reason or if it's something separate, but he was a very sickly young boy. His father wasn't necessarily that interested in raising him, so he ended up sending him, I don't know if he wasn't interested in raising him, but he had other things, he had money and stuff. He ended up sending Descartes off to a boarding school run by Jesuit priests and called La Flèche, and he ended up spending his time there studying physics and other things. But throughout his entire life, he was very sickly, so he was always given an exception to get up late and to because of some lung issues and other things. So he grew up. There's some stories that he was very good at math, and he actually made a living off gambling for a while. And then he eventually joined the army. I believe he joined the French army. Then he switched to the Catholic forces and the Swiss army. I mean, he was like in several different armies. That these were kind of gentlemen armies, and I guess you were able to switch. And even the Catholics had an army, and so he switched around a little bit. And one night, he had a what is kind of regarded as like his kind of key moment. He had this dream one night during which he said his philosophy occurred to him, and after it occurred to him, he quit the army and wrote, and he ended up writing and spending the rest of his life working in philosophy. In around 1649, he was invited by the Queen of Sweden, Christiana, invited him to Sweden to become basically her tutor and to give him her private lessons in his philosophy. And always being kind of a sickly man, apparently the extreme cold of that northern climate, as well as the fact that the Queen liked to have her lessons at like 6 in the morning, and he had to start getting up early. He ended up taking ill, and he never recovered and died. So that was basically his life in a nutshell. But the key thing, and sort of one of the more interesting things, not only is he mathematical and the father of modern philosophy, but it's also the case, and I always find this that basically his philosophy comes to him in a dream. And when you hear what his sort of thoughts are, it does make some sense how that could happen during kind of a sleepless night. But it is an interesting concept. So that is Descartes.